Well, all right, all right, all right. Where's my camera? Is this my camera? Wait a minute. That's
Yeah,
me.
that's good.
All right, all right. It's Friday, Friday, Friday.
Yeah, it is.
How you like that? That was pretty good. That was a vibrato or something. That was something special.
It was something.
So it was. Thanks. Timmy, you're all geared up, baby. What's all this? What's all this?
I'm in the inside studio. It's cold out there tonight.
Cold. What's cold in Florida, Timmy? Come on now.
To me, it's in the 60s out there on my patio.
It's in the 60s. We go to the beach when it's in the 60s, Timmy.
Yeah, but you live in a land where you put ice on top of your ponds.
And
down here, ice only belongs in your drink.
I can see that argument as being valid. Yeah, I can. It definitely doesn't belong on the roads.
I was on my way to an appointment earlier, and the weather babe said something about this cold front that's pushing through. One of these mornings is going to be down in the upper 50s when we wake up. And I'm like, no, y'all northerners need to keep this cold weather up there.
So you're trying to say that we bring it down with us, the snowbird? Wait, it's not snowbird time yet. That's not till after.
Are you kidding me? Canadians have been here for over a month now.
The Canadians, of course, they're further up. They're further north.
They start arriving at the end of August. They start arriving at the end of August.
I ain't mad at them. You know, like I said, it started snowing in Canada into April.
Yeah. It's snowing in Boston right now, or it was earlier today.
Is it really? They said this morning on the news that it was going to mix rain and snowflakes.
The snowplows were out in Boston this morning.
They got that much snow, Timmy?
That much snow. The snowplows were out.
No way.
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
You're going to make me go look.
My sister Annette, her husband posted a video to Facebook of their dog playing out in the front yard, and you couldn't see any green.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It says it's 30 degrees in Boston.
Yep. It snowed today up there.
Wow.
So the only one of, Cindy says to me, the only one of her kids that didn't get snow is the one living up in Maine.
No way.
Serious.
What is Cindy doing?
Cindy still lives here, but looked like she's putting her house on the market and she's moving back to Boston.
Oh, okay. That girl bounces around, man. Just like I change underwear.
She said she misses the grandkids, so she's heading back to Boston.
All her peeps are in Boston, huh?
All her kids are up in the Boston area, so that's where all her grandkids are. She got one daughter down here, but that daughter got 2 dogs, no kids.
I can see that conversation. Honey, I love your bitches, but nah, I gotta go.
Well, she's babysitted them a few times. One time she actually brought them over here on a Sunday, and her and I was sitting down enjoying a few cold beers, and all of a sudden one of the dogs went nuts and tried to attack me.
What? Just out of the blue?
It turns out that the dog has issues with black men, or had.
So wait a minute.
It was a rescue dog.
Your sister's daughter, got a racist dog.
Got a rescue dog that didn't like black men.
That didn't like black men. Was fine around black women, but black men had an issue.
Yep. And me and that dog had a talk that day.
I bet you did, and now he still doesn't like black men, right?
No. She likes me now. She tried to attack my leg while I was out on my patio enjoying a beer, and I explained to her who owns this house. And then I pointed at the grill. Told her she wouldn't be the first dog I ate.
I can just hear her now. Oh my goodness, I forgot to invite Chuck. Stand by.
no.
I gotta invite Chuck. We talked to him earlier today, and he is expecting an invite from us. I just don't know where I should do it. I should probably do it on Facebook for him. So, anything exciting happening down there in?
I hear the big happenings are up your way. I hear you're getting a special surprise guest this weekend.
Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, my buddy
Yeah.
is supposed to be coming to visit.
Yeah, all of a sudden out of clear blue, I said, I got to ask Paul what's going on up there if all of a sudden there's a surprise visit coming in on the last weekend before elections.
Well, that means we're kind of important.
Yeah, but why does he feel like he needs to make the visit? Is it because I know he knows you're important, but is he worried that something ain't going to go his way on Wednesday or by Wednesday?
That's a good question. I guess Maurice's announcements got him a little worried. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Did I miss?
Oh, you didn't see what Maurice did?
Maurice who?
Maurice Davis. Weren't you watching his? I thought you were watching. I thought you were a fan of his show too.
Oh no, I haven't seen it lately.
Okay, I started producing Maurice's show probably 3 years ago.
Right. Well, and I used to watch it, and then I couldn't find it, and I stopped looking for it.
Well, he took it to his studio and started producing it out of his house.
Yeah.
And on his own channel. So unless you did look for it, you probably wouldn't have found it.
Yeah. I was looking for it on your lineup. I didn't know he had taken it to his own place.
No, well, he professed the other day that he was voting for Trump.
Ooh.
And a bunch of other things that, about black folks and about white folks. He just went on and on and on and on.
That was something I'd expect from your other boy there that you were doing on Fridays at 8:00.
Terry
TC, yeah.
Yeah.
I expect TC. What's going on, Chuck?
That's good. How you doing?
Look at
all right, brother.
He's still ugly, my God.
Paul, you looking in the mirror again?
Thank you. It takes one to know one.
It takes one to know one, that's for sure. There's no too many of them. I'm trying to pull up your video. I'm going to show Timmy this one. He might have something to say about it. Timmy is, he's a different kind of fella.
Right.
Depends on what you mean by different.
How are things going out there in New Mexico?
Well, our numbers are going back up. So I don't know if the governor has done it yet, but they've been talking about shutting us down again.
Yeah.
We did real good for a while, but then folks got goofy, and so we started spiking.
You're in the medical field, right, Chuck?
Yeah, I just retired 4 weeks ago today, but I was working at a psych hospital. But yes,
oh, congrats! About a month ago, now, I heard I was listening to NPR on a Friday night, and they were doing a science segment, and the woman that they were interviewing was saying that it was her belief that the reason why we got so many asymptomatic people out there is because the test they using is not narrow enough to just detect COVID-19. It's detecting anybody with any kind of a coronavirus. And I was wondering from somebody in the medical field if anybody's ever heard of that, knows anything about it, because I'm not hearing anything more except for this one woman.
I've never heard that myself. But like I said, I've been retired for 4 weeks, so I haven't been paying attention to a lot of stuff like that. I've just been sleeping and taking naps.
I know. I don't want you to stand up because I know you're in your drawers.
And finding that next bottle of Everclear.
I dare you to stand up. That's what I'm saying.
I got some Kahlua and cream.
Kahlua and cream tonight, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to treat you like Blyden. You ain't black. What you doing drinking that lactose?
It's good though.
I like you some Kahlua and cream.
Well, listen, I didn't want to be alone, so I was at the little corner store and I found this.
A monkey shot glass?
A monkey shot glass. I thought it was the skull. I thought it was the skull until I got home and found out it was a monkey. Now I don't know. I think I'm racist.
Yeah. Chief of police lost his job here in St. Pete.
I know.
He was doing an interview, and they asked him, well, how difficult was it to arrest a perp? And he said, oh, man, it was hard. He was hanging onto the wheel like an orangutan.
Ooh.
And that was the end of his job.
Wow.
I don't necessarily agree with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It matters. You know what I mean? What his history is.
Yeah.
Because he could have been hanging on to that door like an orangutan.
It was a steering column of the car.
Right.
And he had wrapped his arms around the steering column, and he wasn't letting the cops drag him out of that car easy. Just the chief of police, happened to be a white guy, made that statement, and the next day he was out of a job.
Wow.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. You got to hold people accountable for what they're saying.
Yeah, I guess to some extent.
Yeah.
I don't know if the audio is going to play on this. And the audio's got to play.
All right.
I'm going to be very upset. Let me see. Hold on. Let me put that up here. And I think I can do it like this. And then, look at that.
Yeah, you sent me that video. I saw that.
Did you see that? What did you think, Jimmy?
Brothers can rap, but I didn't like their message. Or should I say I didn't agree with their message. I
knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say it.
That's why you sent it to me, right?
I don't know if it's going to play the audio. Let's see.
Another thing that's been getting me cracking up lately, and I've come close to posting it a couple of times, but I backed off, is how many people do you think at this point in time have not cast their vote and have not made up their mind?
Yeah, I think everybody's settled in already.
I have not cast my vote, and I have not made up my mind.
Oh, you haven't?
You're one.
I'm thinking about voting Trump because this has been the best reality show I have ever seen. It can't end like this. I need another season.
Paul, you don't say that too loud because Deep Blue might be listening.
I know. He'll blow my stuff up too. He'll burn my house down. Hear me talking like that. Oh my goodness!
I can see Candace and Vic saying, "Well, Paul, we understand you. You made up your own mind. You did your thinking. Blah blah blah." But Deep Blue. Hey Chuck, have you ever had a chance to watch Whose Opinion Is It Anyways? The show Paul got on comes on at I guess that'd be 2 o'clock. Your Friday afternoons, your time.
Never heard of it.
Dude, you got to catch that show. Lady Candace and Vic and Mike, they talk about political things and opinions and whatnot. And it's just funny because the one named Mike, his nickname is Deep Blue because he sounds like he works for the Democrat Party. The way he just spews that Democrat Party line. One episode, Vic says to him, you know, Mike, I'm going to take the recording from this show and send it to the Democrat Party in case they're looking for a new mouthpiece.
Wow. Okay. Now, what channel does that come on?
It comes on Paul's channel here.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, it comes on. It's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're in Pacific?
I'm in Mountain Time, so it's 3 o'clock my time.
Yep, so it'll be 3 o'clock your time, yeah. So Friday nights, 3 o'clock, Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock your time. Whose opinion is it anyways?
Okay. So you say you didn't like the message of the rap?
Yeah, I didn't like I like the sound and the beat. The brothers had it going on, but I wasn't hip to the message.
So am I to assume you're for the other party?
I am I'm a registered Republican. Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Do your thing.
I started out as a registered Democrat back in my 20s. And one day, something just didn't sound right to me anymore.
Okay.
And you know the funniest part about it, when I finally came to that realization and I made that choice, I told a very good friend of mine. And one Sunday, I'm sitting down at her dinner table having dinner, and her parents were there, and her parents knew my parents.
Uh-huh.
And for fun, this friend said to her mother, "Hey, Mom, ask Tim what party he just re-registered for." And
Okay.
her mother looks at me and says, "So what party?" I said, I just registered in the Republican Party. And the woman looked at me, she said, "Oh my God, I feel so bad for your mother. How did she ever do that to you? How did she raise a Republican?" I'm like, what did I do? Should I be in jail?
Okay.
And she's like, "Your mother's such a great, dependable Democrat. How did you go wrong?"
So what changed your mind?
I was working a job, single man, working 70 hours a week. And this one particular week, I only worked 68 hours. And the difference in my take-home paycheck was $5 for missing 2 hours of pay. And I'm talking, I was making damn near $20 an hour in overtime.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting there looking at my tax stub, and all of a sudden the news comes on, and they're talking about some bill, and they asked the senator that was advocating the bill was asked, "So how are you going to pay for this?" And he said, "Well, we're just going to raise the taxes on blah, 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 blah." And I'm like I don't already pay enough taxes? You're going to raise my taxes again?
Okay.
And it was that was, to me, that was the beginning of the, okay, where do I fit in the scheme of things with this mentality? And I started realizing, I fit into the scheme of things by, you're the source of the money that we're going to get to do what we want to do.
Okay.
And that's when I felt like it just wasn't with me anymore.
Okay. And the Republican Party has been satisfying you?
Not 100%, but I find that I agree with them more often than I agree with the Democrat Party on things.
Okay.
But my thing is, I don't care socially what you want to do with your life, how you want to act, how you want to live. Don't jam it down my throat, and don't ask me to fund it.
Okay.
And that's when my fiscal conservatism comes in. And I don't believe government is the right solution to many of the problems government is trying to solve, because government is too damn awkward and inefficient with money, and they like to.
I thought a businessman as a president would be a good idea. And I guess I still do. I just think we picked the wrong businessman. I'm not down with.
No, the problem is, Paul, is we got a businessman for a president, but who gets to set the spending budgets in this country? Is it the president?
The Congress.
Right. So according to the way our Constitution is written, any spending or taxing legislation is supposed to start in the House of Representatives. The Senate is not even supposed to start discussing that. The House of Representatives needs to come up with a budget explaining taxes and spending first and send it over to the Senate, and then the Senate can either go with it or they can come up with something that makes adjustments, and then the two sides need to negotiate, and then they send it to the president for his signature. So the president...
Wait, Timmy. I got to say something about Preacher Pimp Daddy.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what? The discussion was going just fine.
I know, Thomas. I was trying, brother.
Keep it going, Tim.
Sorry, you go back, Tim. Keep going.
So, every year, and I remember back, Ronald Reagan would say, "This is my proposed budget," and Tip O'Neill would say, "That thing's dead on arrival. We'll come up with our own budget." Right. The three of them at the end, the Senate, the House, and the president would sit down with negotiators, and they would come up with a final budget that everybody could agree on. And it would get passed in the House, it would get passed in the Senate, and then it would get passed on to the president for signatures. But we don't seem to be doing that no more.
No.
the Congress is not setting a budget. And I mean, this has gone for years that the Congress has been abdicating their responsibility. And it is a responsibility in Article 1 of the Constitution for them to create a budget.
Hey, Chuck, turn the volume down on your phone just a little bit. Let me see if I can stop the feedback from your end.
Who are you talking to?
Chuck.
Okay. All right.
Turn the volume down just a little bit. We might not be able to hear you, your feedback.
Okay, what about now?
That's a little better. You got to talk for me to hear, though.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine. Timmy says, sing Do Re Mi.
Do Re Mi.
Yeah, I think that's a little better. Hold on, we got to talk to Jarvis. I got to understand this Darkwing Duck thing he's got going on over there.
Hey, man, listen. I saw a hat, I liked it, I bought it, all right?
He looks like you and your mobile?
Yeah. I came to visit with some friends, so I didn't want to miss the show, especially hearing what you're talking about now. There's been no system of checks and balances for how long?
For at least 15 years that I can put my finger on it.
Right. So then when you look at what we're dealing with in the administration right now, I mean, that's like the extreme.
What I see of the last budget that passed, that was the Candyman budget. Everybody got their little piece of candy, and because that was everybody wanted something, but they gave something in order to get their something. So you came up with an unrealistic budget that just don't work.
That was a Bush budget, wasn't it?
No. The budget right now, the one that Donald Trump being the president, Mitch McConnell being the Senate president, and Nancy Pelosi being the House Speaker. The three entities got together to create the last budget, and that budget had increases in spending and tax cuts. You see the problem?
No, because they got enough surplus. They don't need the taxes. They got enough money.
Well, somebody need to take you to the doctor and get you to pick it up.
They're going to cut their salaries, and they're going to cut their health benefits, and then that way they'll have the money to do that stuff.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You should be sharing that with the rest of us. Whatever it is you need to share it with the rest of us.
How long has it been since we had a surplus?
I got the monkey. I can tell
you when it was, Jarvis, because it was the man that I voted for against Donald Trump in that primary 4 years ago. John Kasich, 1994. He, Newt Gingrich, I forget who the Senate president was at that time, and Bill Clinton came up with a budget that not only balanced, but they actually paid a little bit down on the federal debt for 2 years back in the 90s. And that was the last time that the federal budget was balanced.
Wow.
So with knowing what we found out about the background of like the business dealings that President Trump has had in his own personal businesses, how do you think that plays into what we're dealing with the national budget right now, and what kind of era we will enter into in the next 4 years, whether Trump is the president or whether Biden becomes president?
The thing is neither one as president has the power to make the absolute spending decisions. The budget originates in the House of Representatives.
But he gets to veto that budget. He gets to go through that budget and
he has two choices. He either signs it as it arrives at his desk, or he vetoes the 100% entire thing. There is no line item at the federal level,
and they start from scratch.
All right. Well, here's the first thing that happens if he does the veto. Is they go back and they do a head count, and if they got 3/4 of the votes in the Senate and 3/4 of the votes in the House, they override the veto.
Right.
So
I understand, Tim, that you say he doesn't have absolute, that no president has absolute power.
Right.
But I guess my question is, how much influence do you think, though?
With Nancy Pelosi and the other part that I've noticed this week, a lot of people don't understand is what it takes to pass something in the Senate. They think it's like the House, where you get it to the floor, and a simple majority passes it. Well, in order to get something to the floor in the Senate, you first have to get 60 senators to agree to bring it to the floor. It's called cloture, right? So you got to get 60 senators to vote for cloture, or you can't even bring it to the floor to be debated. The only way that Mitch McConnell was able to bring Barrett up for her confirmation vote was because back in 2013, then Speaker of the or Senate President Harry Reid was pissed off that the Republicans were blocking a bunch of Democrat Obama recommendations. So Harry Reid, being the Speaker of the House, he did this thing called the nuclear option, which got rid of the requirement for the 60 votes of cloture when it was for in a presidential appointment. And that was what Mitch McConnell used last week to bring Amy Barrett, or this week, I guess it was. Amy Barrett was, he said, nuclear option time. It's a federal appointment to the bench. We don't need cloture.
So wait a minute now. Didn't Obama have cloture when he tried to do his appointment?
When he tried to do which appointment?
To the Supreme Court.
He didn't have the requirement for cloture. What he also didn't have was he didn't have the Senate. The Senate was Republican. So at that time, but the reason that the nuclear option went into effect was the Senate was Democrat in 2013. However, because of cloture, the Republicans were able to block a bunch of stuff from coming to the floor for a vote. Because
how nasty was that?
Huh?
How nasty was that?
Well, that's the thing. That's why cloture exists. Cloture exists in the Senate because the Senate is supposed to be the protector of a gone wild House. So since the House can't by itself send something to the president, if the House goes wild because they have, one party has the majority
in the House, right?
And it goes over to the Senate. Well, the Senate, the minority party has the ability through cloture to put the brakes on something. But at the same time, if you notice, if you go back through the last 4 years, there was several times that Mitch McConnell was able to get cloture. What was the justice bill that they did with the restructuring sentencing, right? That was a bipartisan bill. Mitch McConnell was able to get the Democrat votes he needed to bring it to the floor for debate and passage. So that's how cloture is supposed to work. And the idea is that the minority party can't get railroaded. It has to be something the minority party. Now, once they give cloture.
If they're the minority party, doesn't that mean they have lost the election and that the majority party is in control and therefore the majority party should be able to push their agenda?
But in the design that our forefathers did, they thought it was important that the Senate have to slow things down a little bit and do a little bit more deliberation. So they put in the cloture. That cloture exists in there. And it may not exist for long because Harry Schumer, or Chuck Schumer, excuse me, has already said if this Democrat take the Senate and he's Senate president in 2021, he is going to eliminate cloture, period.
So what would that mean? What does that? It means that the minorities cannot be served when the majority is in power.
Correct. That the minority party no longer has the ability to
cock block.
Cock block, or force some kind of a what do they call consensus? To force a consensus to at least bring it to the floor for debate.
Well, that does not sound bad to me, Timmy. I mean, the bottom line is if the Republicans are in power, that means that the nation has elected the Republicans and the nation wants the policies of the Republicans. And therefore, the Democrats at that point shouldn't be able to cock block those demands of the electorate. The same with the Republicans. If the Democrats are in and are in by a majority, that means that those people want those policies to pass and to not be held up.
Okay. If that's the way you feel.
Bulu 2024.
I cannot feel that way. I mean, the bottom line is the people have spoken.
Hey, Jarvis. Definitely not me in 2024. I don't know.
Boo Herring 2024.
Definitely not me. I ain't got the energy for all that.
Hey man, that's why you need a good second man. Boo Herring 2024.
I'm not against I did top billing, right? Bulu to it's Biden here. Okay, so that I'd be the president.
So what are you saying? That I get elected and have to immediately step down so that you can step up from vice president to president?
That could work. I mean, either that or I'll assassinate you, one or the other. That's your choice.
My prediction is that's what you're going to see if Biden wins next week. That my prediction is before he's sworn in on January 21st of 2021, he will step down and Kamala Harris will be the president. Now, I've had a couple of people tell me they don't think so. I've heard a couple say he'll make sometime during the first year, he'll step down. And then I had a guy today tell me, nah, he'll do it in 2 years.
You know, I'm torn. I don't think it's a strategy that he's working on, but I'm sure the man is 80 years old. Something's going to come up.
You know why I put this together as my conspiracy?
Uh-oh.
All right. If you think about it, go back and think about it. This time last year, was Joe Biden a candidate in the race?
No,
he wasn't.
Right.
He was not a candidate in the race. You had Kamala Harris in there. You had Cory Booker. You had Elizabeth Warren, and you had Bernie Sanders, and a couple of other people also ran. So all of a sudden, we get into January, February timeframe, right? And you got Bernie Sanders out there smoking it up. Elizabeth Warren not doing too bad. Kamala Harris is taking some votes, but she's not doing too good. Cory Booker's doing somewhat. Joe Biden suddenly, after months of prominent Democrats saying Joe Biden needs to be in there because he's the one guy that can beat Donald Trump, suddenly he decides to jump in. He jumps in so late, he has to basically ignore Iowa and New Hampshire and go concentrate on North Carolina. So then he wins North Carolina, and everybody's saying, okay, what's next? All of a sudden, you get Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker jump out of the race and throw all their support to Joe Biden. And all of a sudden, it's Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Okay,
sounds like an organized party to me.
Sounds like an organized party to me. Then all of a sudden, Kamala Harris is the vice president. And I say, okay, that's the promise to get her to jump out. You're going to be the vice presidential candidate. But wait a minute. What if the promise was that on your own, Kamala, you're not going to win. But if you jump out, you put your support behind Joe Biden, Joe Biden's going to name you as the vice president. Once the ticket's won, Joe Biden's going to say, for health reasons, I can't serve. I'm going to step down. And Kamala Harris is now the president, and she gets to pick a new vice president.
Cory Booker.
Do you think the nation is frustrated with all of the lies that Trump has told? You talking about mistrust?
That I don't think they're worried about mistrust, because I think their belief is, and I've heard this belief twice before and it proved wrong, but twice before I've been told by Democrat active friends of mine that that's it. That's the end of the Republican Party ever having the majority and ever filling the president's office. Republicans will never be in the majority again. I heard it when Bill Clinton was elected, and I heard it when Barack Obama was elected, that was it. There was never again going to be a Republican majority, and Republicans would never have. Well, now Chuck Schumer, there's actually videotape of him saying he is going to push for Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico to become states because he figures that's 4 guaranteed Democrat senators right there. Washington.
They're splitting up California, though, too, Timmy.
Yeah, but if they split up California, they're going to have even more Democrats because right now California is just 2 Democrats. If they split it up the way they're talking about splitting it up, it'll be 4 Democrats and 2 Republicans.
Okay.
They're talking 3 states. The problem is, the reason why they're going to do it is because the southern part of California is strongly Democrat. Middle California is strongly Republican. Northern California becomes strongly Democrat again.
Well, see, I thought Northern California was Republican. Orange County, San Francisco.
Orange County is down in outside of L.A. That's down south.
That's north of L.A. Okay.
Right. But you get into the San Francisco, all in that area, the Santa Clara, San Jose, all that. Dude, that is so blue. It makes deep blue seem neutral, middle road.
Listen, it is 9:36, and it is time for us to take a shot. What do you got? I know you probably don't got nothing, Jarvis. You can just count us down.
Wait a minute. When did we add this element to the show?
Right now.
Timmy started it.
Blame it on me. I got big shoulders.
Salute. I don't know if it's vodka or tequila. I don't know what the heck.
Salute. Compai. Score. Have it.
Oh, it's vodka.
Angela pour it for you?
Oh, it's vodka.
Angela pour it for you? That's why you don't know what it was?
No, I bought it at the store. It was white liquor. I didn't know if it was.
The glass was already loaded.
Yeah. I don't know if it was vodka, gin, or tequila.
You just like the way the glass looked.
That's it. Now I got to go to the beach and get some sand to put in it.
Hey, Chuck?
Yeah.
I could imagine if that was full of moonshine.
How do you know I'm not going to have the same reaction, dude?
No, I don't think you would.
I still got a bottle of Jack Daniels up here on the shelf. It's probably about 4 months old, and maybe an eighth of it is gone.
All right.
And I like that.
All right.
I was in a meeting the other day, and my vendor was telling me that he and his wife had just did this vacation for a week up in North Carolina, driving through the mountains and the back roads up there. And I looked at him and I said, "Hey, did any of them good old boys ask you to carry these clear bottles of liquid?"
You didn't mean anybody look like Duck Dynasty, did you?
Several years ago, I was getting ready to do contemplating doing a hike of the Appalachian Trail. And I had a kid working from a young man from Tennessee. And I told him where we were thinking about getting on the trail in Tennessee. And he looked at me and he said, I highly recommend you don't do that. And I looked at him and I said, why? He says, because some of those areas of the trail there, you're going to be walking between the brewer and his still. And the color of your skin could get you shot walking between him and his still. And I'm like, are you serious? He said, dude, I'm trying to be honest with you. I don't want to see you dead because I like you as a boss.
Well, I drove the Appalachian Trail. I didn't get out, but I drove the Appalachian Trail. I didn't walk it. Oh, my goodness.
Now, there is a trail that's only walking, and it goes from Georgia all the way up into Maine. And it's all up through the mountains and everything. And I know people that have hiked several sections of it. And I went to a presentation one time put on by 2 brothers, and I mean blood brothers, that walked from Georgia all the way to Maine over the course of 6.5 months.
It took 6.5 months to walk it.
The way they did it, because whenever they got tired of hiking, they got off the trail, got a hotel room, partied for a little while, ate some good meals, took a hot shower, and then when they felt like they were refreshed and rejuvenated, they got back on the trail.
So they could go town for a week or so and then go back out.
I think they told me they spent a week in New York City.
Nice. You know, me and some high school buddies had promised in high school that when we came of age, we were going to buy motorcycles and drive to California.
Ask me after you're done telling the story why I'm chuckling, and I'll tell you a story.
So I called him a couple years ago, right? I called him probably about 7 years ago, and I said, I got a better idea. Let's buy brand new 300cc mopeds from China, have them shipped to California, fly out, get them, and then drive them home. How many do you think took me up on it? I got 3 guys.
Zero.
Nobody. What's wrong with you, Chuck? You just said no too?
I said zero.
Zero.
Yeah. I don't get it. Come on now. This is a chance for them to make good on a high school promise.
It was this 300cc moped deal.
What's wrong with that? That's big enough to get on the highway if you have to.
Give me at least 1,000 cc's
Right.
Harley V twin under me.
Right.
For what? Wait. The object is not to be on the highway. The object is to be on back roads all the way back to
I don't care. I want 1,200 cc's, not, or at least 1,000 cc's, not how many cc's?
300. 350 miles an hour.
You'll be on the road for 7 days.
And your point is what? No, a 300cc scooter will take you 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, at its peak.
Right. Well, see, here's the deal. When you buy mopeds new, you have to break them in. So you can't drive over 45 miles an hour for the first 150 miles.
So who's gonna be broke? What's gonna be broke in by the time you get back to Michigan from California?
Can I just say one name to you to explain what I'm got in mind right now?
Listen, by the time we get to Vegas, they'll be broke in.
Hey, can I say this?
And you will be too.
Paul. Steve Urkel. I do that.
Right.
You guys are just no fun. Come on, what kind of? That's an adventure. What are you talking about?
I bet it is an adventure. So was the trip to the hospital after the trip.
Right.
And the reason why I was laughing about that was because when I started, when my oldest son was born, and I started to contemplate putting money away for his education, you know who I called, right?
Junie.
And so I said to Junie, so I'm looking at this plan right over here. I put some money in it, and then he'll have money to go to college. And Junie looks at me and says, so if he comes home at the age of 18 and says to you, Dad, I'm not going to college, me and Betty Boop over here are going to buy a Harley and ride to California, how are you going to feel about that? I said, I'm going to tell him not with the damn money I earned. He says, well, if you put the money in that, you won't be able to tell him that.
Because what?
Because that money would have been his as soon as he turned 18 and no requirements to spend it on college.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, that's the requirement. Ass whooping from dad is the requirement. Yeah. You want to sit down again, son? Go ahead and spend it on a motorcycle. See if you can sit on it. See if you can sit on it.
That might have worked right up until he was about 12 years old.
Oh, no, 18, no. If you had to get a friend to help you, Timmy.
By the time he was 14, he was already 6'2" and weighing 250.
Call a brother. I'll come. I'll help you out.
Hey, Paul is old school. He don't care.
Hey, Paul.
Paul is old school. He don't care. He'll grab a broomstick, extension cord, 2x4, chair. You
Give you an
name
idea
it.
how big he was by that time.
I know how big he is now, but 2 or 3 of us can still hold him. And don't, numbers beat odds. You hear what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right.
His sophomore year of high school, the JV coach called the house and left this message: Thomas, you don't even have to try out. Just show up. You're on the team.
Wow.
Just show up, huh?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if you guys know this, but I tagline this show. All right, it's Eclectic Ramblings, and the tagline is "But Mama Said."
But Mama said.
So
Mama said.
sometime during the course of this show, you got to tell me something that your mama said. Hey, Heidi, how you doing, baby girl? I see her hiding over there. Half an eye. Half an eye. There we go. How you doing, girl? So I need you guys to think of something that your mother said.
Oh, I can tell you something that my mama said in reference to what we were just talking about.
Uh-oh.
Boy, I brought you in this world.
I guess we know
I'll
who's
take you out.
first. What'd you say? Go ahead.
Jarvis, I think you're up.
You say what?
You're up.
You're up.
I
What'd you
said
say?
in reference to what we were just talking about, my mother, who will be 79 next month, said, I brought you in this world. I'll take you out.
Hello.
Bill Cosby did not invent that. My mother from the Mississippi Delta did.
You believed her too, didn't you?
Exactly.
Right. Chuck, what'd your mama say?
When my mother got mad at us, she would say, boy, I will skin you. You ain't got the sense that God gave a goat.
Yep.
And when she said that, we knew she was mad, and we shut the hell up and stepped back.
I know that's right.
Timmy, what you got, baby?
Jarvis, a little story. When I was about 16 and a half, 17, my mother took a swing at me, and I reached up and I grabbed that hand. She tried to swing with the other one. I reached up and I grabbed the other one, and I'm holding her hands out like this, and she's fighting me, and she stopped, and she looked at me, and she said, boy, let go of me so I can hit you.
Hey, let me tell this. One time, my mother was about to spank me. No, she was about to whoop my ass, and I was standing with my back. To the front door. And I used to run track in high school and college, so I was kind of fast. So I figured if I ran, she wouldn't be able to whoop me. I ran out that front door and got about 2 houses down the block. I look back and here she comes. Long story short, I never ran again in my life because that was so embarrassing to get caught by your mama down the street and take an ass whooping in the street.
I know that's right. Listen, hey, I got one too. So when I was in high school, they had this policy that if you show up so many times late, they would close your classes and kick you out of school. Mind you, we got one opportunity when we were growing up to get kicked out of school and not get in deep trouble for it. Only one. The second time you got kicked out of school, my mother's philosophy was wherever you get in trouble at is where you're going to get in trouble with me at. So I found out that they closed my classes. When I tell you I was in the principal's office sweating and telling them, listen, I know my classes are closed, but you do not want a parent-teacher conference with my mother because she will cause the news to be up here from what she does to me. Can we figure out a way to get me back in school without having to call her up there? When I tell you I was in school the next day,
Yeah.
You saved everybody. You saved the whole school.
brother, you have no idea. And my mother is sweet as can be, but they don't want to have to contend with her.
I know your mother. I can't see her beating you down, but I can see her beating you down.
Paul knows my mother. My mother's all of about 4'11".
So's him.
But she got a wick about that long in that firecracker. And when it goes off, it's like a stick of dynamite. And the was the quieter she spoke, the more in trouble you knew you were.
Okay.
When she started talking quiet and gritting her teeth, you know. I woke up one day in the middle of a meeting,
Well, listen. My mother's threats that they grew as we grew. When we were young, she would look straight at us and she said, "Boy, I will salivate you." And until we could look up the word and realize it was spit on, that worked. It worked. It worked. So once we got smart enough to look at the dictionary, she changed it to "Boy, I will beat all the black off of you."
Yep.
That's it.
And that's all we needed to hear. I didn't know it could happen, but I didn't want to find out.
I know that's right.
But you know something? It kept me out of jail and it kept me out of trouble.
I'm trying to tell you. Same here.
I've never been arrested. I wasn't scared of the police. I was scared of my parents.
Say that.
I made the mistake, Chuck. I can't say I was never arrested. I made the mistake, and that's where she surprised me the most.
Yep.
Because all she said to me was, "Boy, if you bring me back to a courtroom ever again,"
Yep.
and that was it. If you bring me back to a courtroom ever again,
Yep.
and I looked at her, I said, you do know we got to come back and see this judge for me to get off probation, right? He said, that's going to be the only time you better bring me back.
Tell you what, if you got arrested when you growing up in my household, you ask the police to keep you in the jail cell so you stay safe.
Well, you know,
I can tell the story, Timmy.
Hey, Jarvis, you know what the bad part was?
What?
I got arrested at my dinner table on Thanksgiving Day.
Ooh.
That cop came to my house on Thanksgiving Day and arrested me at my dinner table.
And you made it out the house?
I made it to 14. That was the big surprise.
What did you do to have the police come in? I mean, did you have a hot turkey on the table? What was?
Nah, they had been trying to get me for probably pretty close to a year.
Okay.
And
wow.
It was the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving when the cop finally got the evidence he felt he needed to come to my house on Thanksgiving morning and arrest me.
Wow.
Well, my story isn't that intense, but pretty. I mean, I don't even think I was arrested. Can you get arrested by a park ranger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was being detained. They made me call my father to come get us, right? From the ranger station. We had been camping out in Holly, and they caught us with some beer. We had a campground and we had set by a mound, and the cops came with the flashlight and found us the beer, told us to get everything out and put it on the table. And I convinced my buddy, I said, "Hey, throw the beer over the hill. We'll come back and get it later." And he says, "No, man, we're busted. We're busted. Let's just put it on the table." I said, "Man, throw it over the hill. We'll get it later." He says, "No, man, we're busted." I said, "Throw it." He throws it over the hill, and we hear this, "Ooh."
You hit the ranger hiding on the other side of the hill.
I walks around with a 4-pack of beer and asked which one of us wants to fess up to tossing it over the hill.
Oh my God.
So my dad's taking too long to come get us. He makes us pack up. He tells us to follow his car out of the campground to the ranger station, and we keep passing cars. So every car we pass, we're trying to see if it's my dad, okay? And then finally, my dad passes us, and we have to toot the horn. And he backs up. He rolls down the window. He says, "Where are you going?" And I said, "He told me we were following him." My dad started laughing. He couldn't hold it. You could tell he did not want to laugh, but we were so pathetic. He couldn't do nothing else but laugh. All right.
As I'm sitting here remembering your father, I'm thinking about Uncle Phil and Bella. Yeah.
It gets better. Okay. Dad follows to the ranger station, right? And they're standing outside and they're arguing, and my dad's not understanding. So he's not under arrest. He can come back tomorrow but he just can't stay the night. And the officer says, yes, that's how it is. And my dad says, let me talk to you in your office. He walks the cop into his station. Now, on the way down, before we caught my dad, he caught some people at Makeout Point, making out. So now they're in the caravan as well, and they're sitting in the parking lot waiting to get arrested. Well, my dad takes the Ranger into the office, and we're shooting the shit with these people that are waiting to get arrested. And this guy finally goes in to see, hey, you going to arrest us or not? And he comes back out and he says, your dad told me he'd be right with me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me knowing your dad.
Gets better. Gets better. They pull off, and the cop comes out. And the cop says, all right, here's the deal. Your dad thinks it's a part of your growing up, and blah, blah, blah. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Well, Jeff's parents, he hadn't dealt the wrath with his parents yet. So me and Jeff said, we want to stay. And the cop says, you can't stay. And Jeff says, all right, you tell his father we're leaving, or we're staying, and we'll leave. And the cop looks at, I can't do that. And Jeff says, his father will have you in there for another hour. He said, okay. So Dad comes out, he looks at me and Jeff, and he says, don't go drinking your beers under streetlights. And got in the car and left.
Yep.
So we go into the ranger station, and the ranger says, where's your dad? I said, he's gone. He says, okay. He gave Jeff back his fake ID. He gave us back the beer and told us to get to getting. And that's the night we found out our best friend was gay.
Okay.
It's an eventful night for you.
It was an eventful night for. Plus, we got chased by a tornado the next day after we tried to go stay at his girlfriend's house because we had nowhere to stay.
Somebody trying to tell you something.
It was a wonderful weekend.
Hey,
And I met my girlfriend for 2 years that weekend.
All right.
Before we run out of time here, I was asked a question today I could not answer, and I promised I was going to ask you.
Okay.
So, what's going on with the water in Flint?
We don't drink it.
Right, but why isn't it fixed? Why isn't the situation cleaned up? That was the question the guy asked me.
A lot of stuff, and I could get shot, assassinated if I tell you what I know. But let me tell you this: there's a lot of people making a lot of money, and Kwame Kilpatrick's in jail.
Okay.
You can repeat that, Paul.
I kind of chalked it up to something simple, like I think they got to reline all the water mains.
No,
not that easy, huh?
The strange thing is they're talking about a $600 million settlement, but these people don't realize is that it's going to raise their taxes because the city has to pay part of that. That money isn't, they're not just printing that money to give to us. We are co-defendants in the lawsuit.
Yeah, but the city, people don't put two and two together, that the city gets its money from the taxes they charge you.
Right. So you're going to get $500 in the settlement, and your taxes are going to go up $1,000 a year.
Yeah. And I see people with the federal government all the time saying the same thing. Oh, the federal government's going to pay for that. I'm not going to pay for it.
Well, I mean,
the federal government gets their money.
Again, Timmy, I mean, I think we have the tax base to do some things. If we weren't spending all this money on defense, we could do some things. The money is there. It's just not being used properly, in my opinion. And if we can get somebody in there that would use the money properly, there could be tax cuts and program increases. You know what I mean? I like this Green Deal they're talking about. I don't know if it's a new Green Deal or the re-Green Deal, but to retrofit our buildings and to become energy efficient sounds like a wonderful working program. I mean, we did it before with the highways and the railways. The WPA program got us back on track after the Depression, and I don't see why we shouldn't do that again to push ourselves. And I mean, we need some dome cities, damn it.
At the university, we undertook a program. It is a certification. a LEED certified building meets certain requirements. So architects now try to design LEED certified buildings because they can charge more money for designing a LEED certified building, and it just looks better. But I'll tell you what, the biggest problem I found from a lot of people, but there's ways to fix it, is when you build a LEED certified building with the low E glass and all that, the cell signals don't get inside the building.
So we have to just come up with a external antenna that feeds through the wall to an internal antenna.
What we had for solutions was one or two ways to solve it. Either we get all of the cell phone companies to give us their rebroadcasters, or we could buy our own, hook it up to the data network of the building, and then that way there, everybody could associate their phone with the wireless network, and it would immediately go out and connect to the wireless carriers, kind of like the Wi-Fi calling you see today.
Right, the IP calling, right?
Yeah, well, Wi-Fi calling allows you to associate your phone with a wireless network, and then it will connect to your carrier. Like I got T-Mobile. When I was over in Europe, the one thing that I got charged for was making phone calls. So what I would do is put my phone into airplane mode, then turn the Wi-Fi card back on, let it link up with the free data that I was getting, and I'd make a phone call, Wi-Fi phone call over the internet.
Nice. Chuck, we got to close, baby. What do you want to say?
Y'all just continue to be safe and make sure you get out and vote. And catch you on the next go round.
All right. I don't think Timmy's going to share your video.
Yeah. I'm going to say to Chuck, congratulations on the retirement.
Thank you.
I hope you get to do all the things you've been wanting to do.
Yeah, my son and I are going to start a food truck.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And to the other people that might be listening, I voted last Saturday. I walked in and early voted. Go early vote. If you're in Florida, early voting's open till Sunday evening.
All right, I got to call my friends and tell them the kidnapping plan is over. Don't go kidnap Timmy anymore.
Too late. I already cast my
vote. Stand down and stand up or something. I got to tell them.
If you sent a mail-in ballot, check to make sure your mail-in ballot got received and processed. We're somewhere over 16,000 ballots so far being rejected in the state of Florida from mail-in.
Wow. All right, guys. Well, hey, as always, if you want to do what we do, you like to get your show on, we do radio shows, we do television shows, and, of course, we do internet streams. Give us a call at 810-239-2901. That's 810-239-2901, or check us out online. We are determined to make a difference, and we want you to too. Timmy, what do we say?
We say enjoy the life you're living just until you can live the life you want to enjoy.
All right.
Nice. And then I hit this button, right?